Ladies and gentlemen, good day and welcome to Q2 FY22 earnings conference call of Pratap Snacks Limited. As a reminder, all participant lines will be in the listen-only mode, and there will be an opportunity for you to ask questions after the presentation concludes. Should you need assistance during the conference call, please signal an operator by pressing star then 0 on your touchtone phone. Please note that this conference is being recorded. I now hand the conference over to Mr. Karl Kola from CDR India. Thank you, and over to you, sir.
Thank you, Margaret. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Q2 and H1 FY22 results conference call of Pratap Snacks Limited. Today we have with us Mr. Amit Kumat, Managing Director and CEO, and Mr. Sumit Sharma, CFO from the management team. Before we begin this call, I would like to point out that some statements made in this call may be forward-looking in nature, and a disclaimer to this effect has been included in the earnings presentation that has been shared with us. I would now like to hand over the call to Mr. Amit Kumat for his opening remarks. Thank you, and over to you, sir.
Thank you, Karl. Good evening to all the participants, and thank you for joining our Q2 and H1 FY22 earnings conference call. I hope all of you, your colleagues and families are safe and well. I trust all of you have gone through our presentation which was shared with you earlier. I am pleased to share we have delivered revenue growth of 13.4% year on year, which is primarily driven by a resumption in economic activities, leading to notable recoveries in most of our product categories across geographies. Importantly, sales volume of several product categories other than rings has surpassed the pre-COVID levels, indicating a widespread and fairly comprehensive return to operations. Further, we have witnessed notable benefits of telecalling initiatives in the territories where this has been implemented, which has supported the revenue momentum. This initiative will help us to enhance the efficacy of our distribution network, resulting in better coverage of territories and leading to higher volumes. We have plans of steadily extending it to additional geographies. As the economy has rebounded and the pandemic-led restrictions have significantly eased, our distribution channels have now been normalized, resulting in improved volumes for most of our products. Since primary schools in most parts of the country are yet to resume, volumes of rings, which is primarily consumed by children, remain impacted. Even though this has witnessed a quarter-to-quarter and year-on-year improvement, we are yet to see it achieve full pre-COVID levels. During the quarter, we witnessed increased pressure on input prices and transportation costs. Palm oil prices continued to stay stubborn despite duty cuts by the government. The average cost of palm oil during the quarter was higher by 34% year-on-year basis and impacted EBITDA margins by almost 600 basis points. In addition, we are also witnessing increase in prices of packaging material corrugated boxes. Higher sales volume, enhanced distribution efficiency due to telecalling and benefits from process reengineering and cost optimization initiatives, as well as the grammage's rationalization in certain products have helped us counter the adverse impact on margin. The impact on margins would have been more substantial but for the above initiatives. The other key initiative of implementing direct distribution model has also begun to aid margin performance. As you know, this is being progressively rolled out and will provide further benefits in the coming quarters, as it will enable us to save trade margins paid to super stockists and also reduce certain overheads like secondary freight. This will become a permanent saving for the company and result in structural enhancement of between 250 to 300 basis points to the EBITDA margin. In this backdrop, I will quickly take you through our financial performance during the quarter and half year ended 30th September 2021. In Q2 FY22, income from revenues grew by 13.4 year-on-year basis at 3705 million as against rupees 303,267 million in quarter 2 21. EBITDA grew by 4% year-on-year basis to 24 crores when compared to 23 crores in Q2 21. PAT during the quarter was 14.69 crore with margins at 4%. As you are aware, we now have set up 8 3P facilities across our network. This has helped us to augment capacity through an assessed light model while enabling production nearer to key consumption center. Contribution from 3P facilities for the quarter increased to 25% as compared to 8% 3 years ago. We are facing no capacity constraints at both 3P and owned facilities and can easily scale production to reach market demand. The opening up of economy and removal of restrictions has led to smart revival in sales of our products. We have recorded an improved contribution from our key point of sales like highways and kirana stores. As primary schools reopen, we are confident that volume of runs will also return to previous benchmarks. In line with our plan of launching new products, we recently launched Swiss rolls in the sweet snack category across a few test markets. Even as we add newer SKUs, we will also continue with our strategy of bottom slicing. This will entail identifying low volume SKUs and discontinuing them to save overheads and also free up bandwidth of the organization to drive traction in higher yielding SKUs. A quick word on leadership changes. As most of you would be aware, Subhashish Basu served as CEO for over 4 years and recently moved out of Pratap Snacks. We thank him for his valuable contributions in the company's growth and wish him all the success for his future endeavors. We are looking for suitable replacement. Before I close, some of you would have noted our update regarding the fire at Kolkata hub. The fire has severely impacted the building, plant and machinery, leasehold improvements and inventory lying at the plant. Fortunately, there are no human casualties. These assets were insured and we immediately initiated for the process of filing the insurance claim for the loss incurred. To maintain business continuity, we are catering to the demand from our Guwahati plants. In conclusion, I would like to say that quarter's performance has been resilient and in line with growth expectations. We are confident that the initiatives we have undertaken to hedge the impact of rising input prices will provide substantial benefits to our margins going ahead. We also believe that the rise in commodity prices is cyclical and the effects would begin to reverse going ahead. We are confident that once the schools fully reopen, we will deliver enhanced revenue and volume growth in the quarters ahead. On that note, I conclude my remarks and we can open the floor for discussion.
Thank you very much. We will now begin the question and answer session. Anyone who wishes to ask a question may press star and 1 on the touchtone telephone. If you wish to remove yourself from the question queue, you may press star and 2. Participants are requested to use handsets while asking a question. Anyone who would like to ask a question, please press star and 1 at this time. Ladies and gentlemen, we will wait for a moment while the question queue assembles. Anyone who would like to ask a question, please press star and 1. The first question is from the line of Deepan Shankara Narayanan from Trustline PMS. Please go ahead.
Good evening, everyone, and thanks a lot for the opportunity and congratulations for good set of numbers. So firstly, wanted to understand what has been the prices of palm oil during November month and what is our expectation for next year?
Palm oil prices, which was trading at around 122 rupees earlier, is currently at 119 rupees. And if you see the future palm oil prices, January, what we have got the quote today is around 113 rupees. So we feel that the palm oil prices should be in a range of 110 rupees maximum for next year.
Okay. So with this such high prices also we have bounced back to margin levels of 6.3% kind of EBITDA. So if palm oil prices expected to come down, then we can surely make even better margins, right, sir?
Definitely, if all the other raw material prices remain same, we can definitely improve the margin to a great extent. But there are pressure on other raw materials like packaging film and corrugated boxes, which we feel is temporary. It's only because of the less availability of ships and container available in the world.
Okay. So can you throw some light on how has been our sweet portfolio has been performing and what is the contribution currently and where do we expect that to move over next 3 years?
So currently it is around anywhere between 3 to 3.5%. With the new product what we have recently launched 1 month back on the Swiss rule, I think in 1 year time this contribution should increase to 5%, and we are looking to 7 to 8% contribution in next 3 years time.
In that Swiss roll alone or overall Swiss?
In the sweet snack category overall.
Okay. And can you throw more light on our portfolio, how that company has been performing, and in terms of top line and as well as margin?
If you see the bottom line has improved considerably. The top line has not grown that much in the last quarter because we did a lot of changes in the structure in the product category itself. We have changed the weight of many products and trying to change the marketing strategy there. But we feel in the longer run, ours should give definitely very good growth volumes in very near short term.
Okay. Thanks a lot and all the best.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone who would like to ask a question, you may press star and 1. The next question is from the line of Sonal Kohli from Bowhead Investment Advisors. Please go ahead.
Thank you, sir, for this opportunity, and congratulations on very good set of numbers in spite of the kind of headwinds you faced. I had probably 2 queries. I wanted to understand what is the lag between your packaging cost and the crude oil prices. Is it like 1 month, 2 months, or 2 weeks? And that is my first query.
So there is a link between petroleum crude prices and the laminate oil, but probably it takes a lot of time to directly get connected. There are a lot of other things required in packaging film other than crude oil, because crude oil is basically they get it from naphtha, but there are other raw materials also required for this. So I don't think there is any direct linkage it can be linked to packaging film. A lot of other factors like the polyester plant we shut down in India and they make a cartel, probably the China stops some production. Very difficult to correlate these 2 things.
So, sir,
we have not been able to correlate these 2 things in last many years.
So, sir, if I see the prices now, let's say in November when we are, and let's say the prices in September or, in the last quarter, have the quarter which is gone by September, versus the prices now, has there been a material change in the prices? Let's say between the average of September quarter versus the current price of packaging cost?
So the prices have definitely increased considerably in last 2 months, but that is not because of crude oil. That is basically because of availability of few raw materials. Many chemicals are being imported from China, and lot of special poly basically come from US. And there is severe shortages of ship and containers across the world. I think that is more of the reason for increase in prices rather than the crude oil prices. That's at least what we believe in.
Sir, what would be an average increase? Is it like 10-15%, like 40-50%?
It should be around anywhere between 12 to 13%.
Compared to, let's say, 2 months back?
Right.
Okay.
Compared to last 1 year or 3 months back.
And sir, currently, is packaging your bigger cost or palm oil is your bigger cost based on current prices?
I think palm oil is a much bigger cost as of now.
Then overall packaging cost?
Almost similar as of now.
Okay. And sir, what if you could share the advertising spends in September 21, September 20, and September 19 quarter, please?
There are 2 kinds of advertisement what we normally do. First is basically the brand building advertisement what we did during the Salman Khan parade. And second is the normal advertisement of Motu Patlu rings product what we do. This advertisement is going on regular basis on the kids channel because we change the thematic theme for the kids every quarter. So this is a regular feature what we do. On the brand building exercise, because of last 2 years we haven't been able to do much because of COVID period.
Can you share the absolute numbers if possible for September 21, September 20, and September 19?
Sumit can give the number.
Hi, Sonal. This is Sumit. So, advertisement, as Amit has mentioned, is primarily on the rings and especially on the kids channel. So, and the average run rate for the advertisement spend is roughly around 1 crore. 1 crore to 1.25 crore a month.
Are you referring to, sir, September 21 quarter or normal period.
Yeah, September 21 quarter, it is the normal amount. And even before COVID, this used to be the normal monthly spend on the advertisement for rings.
Sir, would you have actual numbers for these 3 periods handy with you?
For September 21 quarter, this 3 months ended on September 21, it's around 3.25 crore.
Okay.
Previous year on the same quarter, that was slightly lower. I think that was roughly around 2.5 crore.
And so September 19?
September 19, the numbers are not handy, but yeah, would be roughly around 3.5 crore.
Okay. Thank you so much, sir. And all the best.
Thank you.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, you may press star and 1 to ask a question. The next question is from the line of Mayank Vaswani from CDR India. Please go ahead.
Yes, sir. I have 2 questions. So one is if you could comment on how you've managed to drive the growth in revenue and top line, despite all of our touch points not fully functional, including, schools, etc., are not completely back into the system. So if you could give some color on that. And 2, sir, we've been recently hearing about efforts to increase the pack sizes and go for larger packs. So if you could also walk us through the initiatives on driving the consumption of larger packs and how it would pan out over the next couple of years. Thank you.
On your first question, basically how to get the increased rate when the touch points are not there available. The main thing what we basically get into deeper distribution. So we increased our distribution in many areas, and telecalling has helped us a lot in getting deeper into distribution. Just to give you a flavor, in Indore, initially we were operating on 3,500 outlets. Today we are almost covering more than 6,000 outlets. So that's the plan, to increase the coverage and go deeper into distribution. On the second point, basically what we realized that we are not available in many A-class stores. Most of the companies, they said only 10 and 20 rupees product. We were not available on those stores. So we are launching full range of 10, 20 rupees product for A and B class stores. For potato chips, pellets, sticks, all our products. We feel that should give us a very good momentum and placement across the country.
Thank you, sir. My questions are answered.
Yeah.
Thank you. Anyone who would like to ask a question, you may press star and 1. The next question is from the line of Sonal Kohli from Warhead Investment Advisors. Please go ahead.
Sir, 2 queries again. Is there any particular quarter where your ad spends are more in any particular quarter? No, in a normal period, I'm not talking about COVID period, where your ad spends are relatively less. Is there any some seasonality?
No, for ad spend there is no seasonality. Even when we hired Salman Khan, and during that period the ad spend was relatively higher. But I think barring those kind of brand building advertisement, the normal spend for rings is roughly around 1 crore to 1.25 crore a month. That's the standard even before the COVID period. Because
but what
these
other products you don't spend?
Yeah. Other product we spend with Salman Khan. Without Salman, there is no significant spend for other products. We did something for sweet category in past, but not for other products.
Oh, I see. And sir, have there been any price increases or packages reduction either in the September quarter or so far in October or November, and how is the competitive intensity in the industry? Any changes in that?
Yes, we did a lot of changes in Q2, and that's how you could able to mitigate the large impact of these palm oil impact. If you see the palm oil impact, it's almost 35% higher the average price as compared to last year Q2. And in terms of EBITDA, that is almost equal to 6.5% kind of EBITDA. And we could able to mitigate this is primarily on account of better realization by implementing the direct distribution, where we are trying to eliminate one layer of super stockist and we are directly delivering it to the distributor. We also rationalize some of the grammages for some of the SKUs to pass on the inflation to the consumer or the customer. In addition to these 2 things, we have also done some process engineering in our operation these kind of efforts we have made during the last quarter.
Sir, what I meant was, sir, were there any material changes in overall prices? I am well aware about the initiatives, but my query was more pertaining to price changes, increases because of coinage, any change
No.
grammage reduction overall in a significant way this quarter? And how have the competitors been behaving? Have they also started doing it, or we were the ones who took the initiative,
No, so there is no price revision per se because it's difficult to change the MRP. There is some tweaking in the trade margin, and that is reflected. But yeah, there is reduction in grammages for some of the SKUs, and that is in line with the competition.
But overall impact of that reduction is very minimal.
Got it, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. A reminder to all the participants, if you wish to ask a question, please press star and 1. Ladies and gentlemen, you may press star and 1 to ask a question at this time. Anyone who would like to ask a question, you may press star and 1. The next question is from the line of Amit Kumar from Determined Investment. Please go ahead.
Yeah, thank you so much for the opportunity, sir. Just one question really, or rather one clarification. Could you sort of talk a little bit about, I think, palm oil refined or crude oil, it used to have some pretty heavy, taxation, import duty on that product. And government has sort of made some sort of tweak, some changes, recently. If you could just sort of talk about, that and how does that sort of impact, also your gross margins going forward?
So palm oil is probably the cheapest oil available in the world, and it's probably the best oil available for frying. It mainly comes from Malaysia and Indonesia. So earlier the duty was very little. 2 years back, probably 1.5 years back, government increased the duty substantially. They've reduced the duty right now. But still, because of the world prices, edible oil prices are still very high. The overall impact of palm oil prices on our EBITDA margin will be very huge. If just to give you an example, a 5 rupee increase in edible oil prices is almost equivalent to 1% of EBITDA. So initially, if you see the last 3-4 years number, the average price was 170. It was 70 rupees. Currently, it is averaging around 120 rupees.
So even with this reduction in taxation, it doesn't sort of, benefit you, too much. Could you help quantify, please? I mean, what was the, tax rate till a few months back, and what is the, current taxation on that commodity?
I think the tax duty and overall taxes, there is almost reduction of 20%, more than 20% from the government side. But the impact has been very little. Probably the impact has been less than 5-6%. It was trading around 127, 120 rupees, and currently it is around 119 to 120 rupees.
So you said it has come down to 113 recently.
No,
that will be the current.
No. That's the future price for January.
That's the future price for January. Okay.
Yeah. Current price is 119 to 120 rupees.
Okay. Got it, sir. That's it from mine. Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Kunal Sapnis from Nine Rivers Capital. Please go ahead.
Hey, hi. Thanks a lot for the opportunity. I have just one question on the Kolkata fire.
Sorry to interrupt you, Mr. Sapnis. May I request you to come closer to the phone, please?
Is it better?
Yes, thank you.
Regarding the Kolkata fire, can you just quantify what part of business comes from that circle, and would that be certain business miss that can happen because of this? As I mean, you will have to service it through the Guwahati plants, but can we expect as things are opening up, there can be a certain hit because of this on the revenues?
So the Calcutta plant was started only 2 months back, it came into full-fledged production only last month only, and the average revenue was close to around 5 crore rupees. But that was basically production shifted from Guwahati to here because we are directly supplying the distributor from the Calcutta plant. So as such, there would be no loss of sales because of the Calcutta fire. But definitely there would be loss of directly supplying to the distributors because then we need to have a godown from where Guwahati we can shift the product and then supply to the distributor. But there would be no production sales loss.
Correct. So you mean the revenues won't be lesser, I mean, because of this, but margin can be a bit impacted because you will have another layer.
The significant will be very little because the plant was started only 1.5 months back.
Great. And if I can squeeze another one, this telecalling thing that you did in Delhi and you wanted to do it in the Mumbai circle as well, how has that progressed?
So that has done extremely well. It has given access, probably that has increased the revenue of 35% to 40% where we have done that. So it just increased.
Hello?
Ladies and gentlemen, we lost the line for the management. We would request you to please hold while we reconnect them. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for patiently waiting. We have the line for the management reconnected. Over to you, sir.
Sorry, we lost the connection. Can you just please repeat the question on telecalling? You were asking something?
Yeah, so you did the telecalling in Delhi and you were to also implement it in Mumbai. The question was, how has that implementation progressed?
We have done telecalling in almost, as of today, around 60,000 outlets. And wherever we have done, we have got sales increment of almost 35 to 40%. The target is to go to almost 200,000 outlets by end of this year.
Okay.
I mean by March.
Correct. And that also includes, so the 60,000 outlets also includes the Mumbai circle?
No, 60,000 currently we are into Indore, Bhopal, Gwalior, Jabalpur, part of Delhi and Lucknow. Part of Delhi, Lucknow and Jaipur.
Got it. Great. That's helpful. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is a follow-up from the line of Sonal Kohli from Bowhead Investment Advisors. Please go ahead.
Sir, can you please explain your thought process behind merging Awadh? If I understood correctly, you have plans for merging Awadh, And secondly, how has that market been behaving? Any major price changes or grammage reduction on that side, and also on the demand side and competitive intensity? Thank you.
Yeah. Hi, Sonal. So when we acquired Awadh in 2018, we acquired Awadh with the objective that initially we will acquire a significant stake and we will keep existing the promoter in the business because Gujarat is slightly a different distribution model and a slightly different business model. So we wanted them to be engaged with us for next 3-4 years. So over the period, we can understand the entire business model and then we can give them exit by acquiring remaining 20%. So that's the understanding we had with Awadh promoter while acquiring the major stake. Now, in line with that understanding, we acquired another 10% in February this year, February 2021, and now we are acquiring balance 9.52% and merging the Awadh with Pratap. So that's
how much are we paying for this 9.5%?
We are paying around 30 crore for this 9.5%.
Okay. And so the competitive dynamics of that market, any changes in the recent history or it's in line with what's in the past? And how have the grammage reductions panned out in that market in the last quarter,
The competition basically, if you see namkeen category, everyone has tried reduce weight by a little bit. We have also done the same thing, but there is no major change in the snack category. as of today. So everyone is trying to probably squeeze keep the weight same and trying to squeeze the channel margin. But namkeen, most of the players have reduced weight to a certain extent.
Understood, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you. As there are no further questions from the participants, I now hand the conference over to the management for closing comments.
Yeah. Thank you, Margaret, and thank you everyone for spending time and for joining our conference call. Thank you very much.
Thank you. On behalf of Pratap Snacks Limited, that concludes this conference. Thank you for joining us, and you may now disconnect your lines.